Have you been told that ductboard used for an air plenum for your HVAC system is dangerous to your health? That flakes of insulation are falling off every day, entering the airstream that you breathe in your house? Does ductboard cause cancer? How long does ductboard last before I need to change it? Well, I'll tell you what, every time that I dive into a blog, I like to use my personal experience as an HVAC tech and relate it to common questions that customers ask me. But I love getting into the real facts. I love talking to people in the industry who make the product and contemplate what the EPA, ACA, or ASHRAE has to say about it too. The type of ductboard that I find in a lot of systems is similar to Johns Manville matte-faced micro-air fibrous ductboard. We see ductboards so much because neighborhoods built around 2000 and even earlier have gone through their share of service calls. Several of those homes have changed their AC system out completely, but the plenums used for those systems have typically been ductboard plenums. But even if those homes had sheet metal plenums, they'd still have fibrous duct insulation inside of them. If they didn't, the metal plenum or distribution box would get hot in the heating season and start to sweat in the cooling season. On a side note, there is another type of insulation that we line sheet metal with, and it's called astrofoil or bubble wrap, and it's pretty good stuff too. Guess how many parts of your HVAC system have this fibrous glass insulation as part of its construction? At the very least, 3, not 1. You have the furnace, the evaporator coil, and the air plenum. I don't understand why HVAC salesmen tell folks who are buying a new system that they should have a new plenum installed, specifically to prevent the use of ductboard. Are they just trying to pad the commission they get after selling you a system? Because again, there's really no getting around it. All manufacturers have it in their equipment. Super salesy type companies create fibrophobia in a customer's mind either because they heard it from their trainer or just randomly finding things on the internet to scare you into spending more money. Here's a couple samples of opinions that I've read from so many HVAC and green energy websites. After the primary seal has fully deteriorated, it allows raw fiberglass fibers to be exposed to the airstream. Turbulent airstreams wick the raw fiberglass through the ventilation system, creating additional deposits within the HVAC components and exposing building occupants to raw fiberglass fibers. Companies also show those terrible pictures of mold and dust buildup inside ducts to convince you to change your ducts or to clean them. I see mold and spores in just as many vinyl-lined ducts as I see in ductboard. If the system is regularly maintained, like something as simple as changing your air filter every 90 days, how will dirt and debris find their way into the duct system anyways? But let's look at some facts. Manufacturers like Johns Manville and Owens Corning test their products. They use isokinetic sampling method as well as long duration testing. The manufacturers rate their product for use up to 6,000 feet per minute, way more than your typical residential HVAC system. To pass the test on complying with UL 181, Section 17, the materials used in the fabrication of air ducts shall not break away, flake off, or show evidence of delamination or continued erosion when the air is passed through typical sections at a velocity of 2.5 times the manufacturer's rated velocity. I found another snippet of research that says the potential for shedding of glass fibers from the duct surface was evaluated at the maximum recommended velocity of 6,000 feet per minute. Testing was conducted using an air duct fabricated into an L shape as described in section 17.2 and 17.3 of the UL 181 procedure. Sampling the airstream at the same velocity as the air test velocity conducted near the outlet of the duct and examined by phase contrast microscopy following NIOSH method 7400 demonstrated no detectable glass fibers in the 7-hour test. The sampling detection limit for this test is 0.01 fibers per centimeter cube of air. Test samples contained fewer fibers than values reported for ambient air. Reviewing several major studies, the World Health Organization's International Program on Chemical Safety concluded the contribution of fiberglass-lined air transmission systems to the fiber content of indoor air is insignificant. Complying with ASTM C1071, the following test methods have been performed: corrosiveness, water vapor sorption, fungi resistance, temperature resistance, erosion resistance, odor emission, surface burning characteristics, apparent thermal conductivity, sound absorption coefficients, bacteria resistance, and combustion characteristics. There is no causal association between cancer or non-malignant pulmonary disease and human exposure to glass fibers. That biosoluble wool fibers are thin enough that fibers disappear from the lung at the same rate as dust in the air we breathe every day. That levels of glass fibers in most settings are less than 1 fiber per centimeter cube, and that airborne levels in insulated buildings are not significantly different than levels outside or in uninsulated buildings. The following bodies, which are well-known industry names, can be used as reference when making your assessment of whether ductboard plenums are dangerous. NAIMA, which is the North American Insulation Manufacturers Association; ASHRAE, the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers; ASTM, American Society for Testing Materials; the EPA; the NFPA, National Fire Protection Agency; SMACNA, Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors National Association; the ICC, International Code Council; AIA, American Institute of Architects; AIHA, American Industrial Hygiene Association; and the AMA, which is the American Medical Association. Does ductboard need to be changed out at some point in the life cycle of your home? Yes, most likely, whether it be flexible vinyl ducting or ductboard. And if for no other reason than when you move into a recently purchased home. I personally don't want to be breathing in the air, dead skin, hair, mites, and other disgusting deposits that may have made it into the ductwork from the last people who lived there. Having provided the service myself for customers, I don't believe that duct cleaning works as well as people say it does. It might knock the dust off, but it doesn't disinfect or make it like new. Home inspectors take a look at the exterior of the ducts and determine the shape they're in with a brief glance in the attic, but they don't look inside of them, so the ducts will pass the inspection. But for me, as a new home buyer, I'd want to change them out. Another reason you change out ductwork, regardless of the type of material it's made of, is if the vapor barrier surrounding the ducts, if it's shredded or falling apart. Does your home have hot or cold spots, uneven airflow, smashed ducts from a serviceman who needed access to the space? These are all reasons to change or upgrade your ducting. Regardless, today I wanted to clear the air about yet another way that HVAC companies send their guys out into the field with bad information. I couldn't find any facts as to why using ductboard would be a poor choice or that you should change your ductboard plenum because it flakes off and enters your airstream. They were all fluff written by blog writers or companies talking about stuff they really don't know about. My company doesn't install ductboard when we change duct systems out. We typically use flexible ductwork, but we do install plenums that are lined with fiberglass that we've discussed today. And remember, it's already in your new HVAC system anyways for insulation and sound attenuation. So I hope this hasn't come across as a sales presentation. I just like to know the facts, and I thought you would too. That's why we've cited specific standards made by the industry's major players and told you their observations. So hopefully this has helped with any questions you have about fibrous glass ductboard. If this is your first time watching our channel, please click subscribe down here on the bottom right. And if you click that little bell next to it, you'll be notified of all of our videos as they come out. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
You're watching Fox Family Heating and Air. Don't forget to subscribe. And check out more of our videos by clicking on the right side of the screen.